So, can you hear me? So, yeah, just there's a chat. Do we have Ms. Mikhailovich? Yes, I cannot hear the reactions here. So,
hello.
Okay, so
Working?
So, good morning, everybody. Apologize for this delay. It is due to some challenges we have been facing with the internet. So, first of all, I would like to thank all the participants for having kindly accepted to be with us this Sunday morning. And a special thanks to Ms. Neshka Kravliv-Mikhailovich, the Secretary General of Europa Nostra, who I've been told that even if she would have an invitation with a very, very short notice about an action that regards youth and youth, especially youth engagement to heritage, she would definitely accept. And that's the case. So thank you for being with us, and thank you, everybody. So I will try to say a few words and a small introduction for what has been, who we are. So why we are here in the Prespa region in Greece in this co-creation camp. How what you will it will be presented to you, and then hopefully I will give the floor to all the youth special task force for the Balkan members to present the work outcomes. So a few words a bit about the Europa Nostra Athens Heritage Hub, which has launched by Europa Nostra Area and the city of Athens on the 31st of May 2022, so it's a baby, just after the launch of the Krakow Heritage Hub, 1 month after the launch of the Krakow Heritage Hub. So the main missions of this Heritage Hub, which is run and managed by Elliniki Eteria, which is Europa Nostra country representation in Greece, are the first mission is to gradually build a thematic leadership regarding the role of cities and local authorities in the preservation and promotion of cultural heritage as a means to achieve sustainable urban policies. So it regards this action has to do with improving urban habitability and the resilience of urban and rural areas. It has to do with inclusive policy-making processes, with heritage activation design and scale-up actions, such as a thoughtful and an inclusive consideration of alternative development paths, which are based on sustainability and the value of heritage. The second mission is to foster regional cooperation and integration in Southeastern Europe and Eastern Mediterranean in the fields of cultural and natural heritage through initiatives and programs with and for the civil society. So in this perspective, we have imagined different actions such as programs that involve peer knowledge transfers and networking, awareness raising campaigns, capacity building, initiatives, and also some preservation loads, like restorations and preservations of heritage, be that intangible or tangible. This is an action that we have already, for which we have already programmed some first objectives. I won't spend a lot of time on those objectives, but for the first one, which concerns our our gathering here today. So we have been somehow thinking that we could leverage on the European Year of Youth and on this very special second mission to engage youth in cultural heritage through actions that would target awareness-raising programs, capacity building, and networking. Of course, the focus would be on Southeast Europe and Eastern Mediterranean, and we have decided to start with a very special focus on Western Balkans, the 6 countries of Western Balkans. And we had as a compass the perspective of the EU integration of the Western Balkans to the EU with the joint EU agenda for innovation, research, education, culture, youth, and sport. We had in mind a mission of, seeing and through concrete actions, see how the EU Green Deal targets and the EU Sustainable Development Goals could be served by heritage-centered programs. And of course, we had also the 3 principles of the new European Bauhaus initiative: inclusion, aesthetics, and sustainability. The good thing is that here we have in this area of Europe, in Southeast Europe, we have already 43 Europa Nostra member organizations and 24 associate organizations, which represent 30% of the total Europa Nostra members and 25% of the receivers of the Europa Nostra Awards, European Heritage Awards. We have been thinking, so it was, the story starts like that. It was beginning of July, and we had a meeting in a limited area with Europa Nostra in Brussels. Agnieszka was there, and Vesna Marjanovic as well from Europa Nostra Serbia. And we were thinking about having programs that would engage youth from the Balkans. And then Kadrit Mihailovic just said, Nikolaos, the word is co-creation. Try to do something with that. So we immediately started thinking how we could combine things between this co-creation value of that it's everywhere in Europe right now, and the things and the quick wins that we could have from Eleni Keteria. Eleni Keteria, she had the project of activating the Prespa Environmental Station, a magnificent traditional stone-built house, which is in the Prespa Lake, which is surrounded by 3 countries, Albania, North Macedonia, and Greece. And at the same time, we had already the intention of hosting people here that would work on heritage, be that natural, cultural, or on the biodiversity. So we said, why we don't combine those 2 things and create a co-creation event for youth, that youth would come here from different countries and from different fields, such as architecture, environmental studies, social studies, social and human sciences, as well as arts. And so this team of 9, so we are 9 members, and we have 9 different countries represented, would somehow bring the voice of, I could not say the civil society because we're not supposed to represent the civil society of the different countries, but something like a start, something like a message from each country, so that we could find common guidelines in order to design together programs regarding such as training activities, such as research activities, and such as workshops from the Balkans for the Balkans. And we also went beyond, because it is a story of solidarity as well between people, and we wanted to go beyond disciplines. We wanted to go beyond statuses, be that EU members or non-EU members, because we consider that we all share a common heritage, and this is not a matter of EU member status. This is just a matter of somehow of history, of feelings, as you will see, and of common bonds that we also discovered during this camp. So I have been impressed.
Nikos,
yes, Ms.
I just want to know this picture that you just on the previous slide.
I'm not sure we can hear you. Just
there was a previous slide, and it was the beautiful view on the lake. Is that what is the view of your place? Is that what you see when you are working there?
Yep, exactly.
No. I mean, even more jealous not to be with you. Go on, go on.
So I will. So these are some pictures we have been taking through this camp. Let me tell you that we have here people from. So I will start from Pitora, who is from Kosovo. Then there is Armando from Albania. Then there is David from Montenegro, Tiana from North Macedonia, Elena from Romania, Jasna from Serbia, and Yorgos from Greece. They will present you the work outcomes. I would just like to say that all the things that you're gonna see are things that have been emerged through hard work. We haven't counted hours. We have been working really, really hard, and without even considering that. I'm very impressed and by the commitment of youth in promoting heritage. And I should say as well that we have been. It's also a story of friendship. It's also a story of we all somehow are connected in this isolated area, and the programs that you will be seeing have emerged through contacts between us, the members of the Youth Special Task Force for the Balkans, but also through contacts of this team, of this magnificent team, with the local heritage and with the local civil society, with discussions. So I won't take more time. I would just leave the floor to the first team that will present an umbrella program that also has other different small projects.
Nikos, yes. Can I just say a few words before the presentations?
Sure. Of course.
I mean, I just want to tell you how thrilled I am to join you, alas, only virtually. I think it's only Europa Nostra and Hellenic Eteria and people passionate about cultural heritage who on a Sunday morning, on a sunny Sunday morning, are working hard for cultural heritage. So well done, and a big thank you, Nikos, to you and to the entire team of Hellenic Eteria for embracing with such enthusiasm and so much effectiveness the idea to launch the Europa Nostra Heritage Hub in Athens. And indeed, I remember the first time we have spoke about these ideas, and I can't remember that it has. So I can't imagine that so quickly. It all evolved so quickly, and that something that a couple of months ago we were talking about the idea of this camp, and that this is happening, and that I'm now going to witness the report of your work. So the highest appreciation for the coordinator, and of course I hope that all the participants have enjoyed this experience, and it is just the beginning of a wonderful journey together, bringing the voices and forces, the creative voices, and demanding also voices and imaginative forces of the young generation into the important work that we all have ahead of us. So I'll now stop here, and I listen to you, and hopefully I can at the end react to what I have heard from you.
Thank you very
And
much.
by the way, I'm in the best Western Balkans. I'm not speaking to you with from the Hague or Brussels. I'm speaking to you from Belgrade. Belgrade. So you know,
I recognize the backdrop.
in tune in the spirit of this regional cooperation of this wonderful region full of so rich in cultural and natural heritage, but at the same time, so much affected with so much challenges and sort of negative political developments in the last decade. So I think that's also gives us a very important challenge to overcome these any divisions and any tensions in the region through the positive power of our shared cultural heritage.
Thank you very much.
First of all, let me say hello. We are very happy to see you connected with us today. I'm Elena from Romania, and this is Jasna from Serbia. And we will tell you a bit about what we've been doing here in the past days. So in the past 8 days, we have been developing together ideas for projects aimed at increasing cooperation between our countries for culture and natural heritage. The process was intense but fruitful because we have managed to come out not just with one idea of a project, but with four projects which are interconnected and that complement each other. Our proposal is a project called Pantarei, incubating heritage-led projects for sustainable development in the Balkans. And this acts as a catalyst for the projects that our colleagues have thought of and about which you will find out more in the following hour. But first, let us explain what sparked our imagination for this project. So being here in the Prespa environmental station and having had the opportunity to discuss among ourselves, but also with local people in our visits around the lake, made us realize that in spite of its immense richness in terms of culture and natural resources, the Prespa region is facing various challenges, which are also common in other regions throughout the Balkans. So first, in our discussions among ourselves, we came at the conclusion that there is a lack of a coherent infrastructure in the Balkans, which can gather together various stakeholders from the civil society for developing together heritage-led projects for sustainable development. The second challenge that we've identified is related to the lack of youth engagement in such projects, and we believe this is a huge missed opportunity for capitalizing on young people's energy, creativity, and commitment. And the last main challenge that we've identified is the lack of interdisciplinary approaches when designing projects, but also for setting long-term strategies for the natural and cultural heritage in the region. So in the process we've been engaged in here in the past days, we have been therefore working on finding solutions for tackling these challenges. And of course, we are, as we are an interdisciplinary team, a young team, we came up with some creative proposals. Ours is that of transforming the center in which we are now in an incubator for developing projects and ideas, being inspired by the beautiful landscape we have been immersed here in Prespa. We decided to make cultural landscapes the core of our project. The idea is to use the excuse of this incubator for setting up local, national, and regional partnerships throughout the Balkans, starting with Prespa, and offer interested partners support in terms of a common methodology, guidance, and capacity building activities for developing their projects. The main objectives for this is to increase regional cooperation, motivated by heritage valorization, for sustainable development, community building, and for tackling environmental issues. This process starts here, and from here it will be replicated in other similar regions and landscapes in the Balkans, with the water element as the core symbolic value which will drive the project.
So with this, we aim at increasing community engagement and generating employment within the heritage projects at the local level, but also at the regional and national level. Also to develop a map of cultural and natural heritage here for matching the availability of these resources with the local needs, and then also to create the possible scenarios of sustainable development, which would be then increasing regional cooperation in urban and rural partnerships. The main actions that we intend to take are following. So we would use this center and this station as a space for the pilot incubator. Then we would develop a research and a methodology for facilitating the process of implementing projects. So it would be like a skeleton for other projects to nurture themselves out of. We would create a map with all natural and cultural sites and elements. And of course, in the end, create different scenarios for developing this region with the help of researchers and of course in constant consultation with the local stakeholders. We can then also repeat this project in other identified regions of the Balkans. This is an example of a map that we would like to produce, layering all the projects inside the incubator in one single map, so it's user-friendly. For achieving this ambitious goal, we would like to collaborate with, of course, Europa Nostra Athens Hub, who will support our youth special task force for the Balkan. And as I said before, also like local stakeholders should have a very important and dominant place, as it is very much their concern. And all of this to be implemented, we would estimate that the time is around 2 years. This is only an estimation, but for our vision of the project, that is what we consider optimal, since it is a pilot incubator. With that in mind, we are also proposing the budget of around 300,000 euros, which was also part of having in mind already available fundings of Creative Europe and options that we can find already online.
As for the impact that we are hoping for, we imagine the three-dimensional impact. The first one would be creating the incubator, which provides the infrastructure for small-scale projects in terms of providing a pool of professionals, experts, and funding opportunities. The second one is developing a research and the mapping which reveal existing needs of the civil society and solutioning through direct involvement of the regional heritage, be that cultural or natural, tangible or intangible. And the third one would be finding an innovative way of empowering the community and increasing its resiliency by generating employment locally through projects generated through inclusive, co-creative, and multidisciplinary approaches, bridging top-down priorities, expertise, and bottom-up field feedback advisory. So the general project relies on 3 pillars, which are the pilot projects of the incubator, which acts as a process of integrating innovative approaches with heritage. The first one, which is called Across the Water, deals with tangible heritage or cultural landscapes. The second one is regarding the environment and the natural heritage, is called Prespa National Parks, Park Herbs and Landscapes. And the third one, which is called Story of Prespa, deals with intangible heritage. So we will now let our colleagues tell you more about these projects. And thank you very much for your attention.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm David from Montenegro, and this is Yorgos from Greece. So, as part of the incubator and concerning the layer of the intangible heritage of the cultural landscape, we proposed a project which is called Across the Water. The project is oriented towards promoting youth engagement in the common cultural and natural heritage of the Western Balkans. So, whilst residing here in Prespa Environmental Station and studying the area, as well as with our background knowledge of the Western Balkans, we find that the main challenges are reflected in the weak connection of the Western Balkans education sector, the distance of the students from the shared natural heritage, and the lack of infrastructure for experiencing and studying the natural heritage. With these challenges in mind, we proposed a solution in a form of series of student design competitions and workshops, which are composed of two phases. So the first phase is composed out of a design competition in Prespa Lakes, which proposes a master plan with the design of the watchtowers, so small environmental stations with lighter visible recyclable structures. With all this, for architects, yes, I'm sorry, yes, it's yes, the small environmental stations which could facilitate mapping, studying, experiencing the landscape, and also indulge in the sustainable development of the surrounding areas. The second phase is the materialization of the first phase through a workshop, which is a form of bonding the experts, the students, and the local community, and indulging them in actually building the environmental stations. As for the resources, infrastructure is comprised by the PES as the center of the activities. The mobility needs that would be solved by some small buses, for example. Creative capital would be provided by the dynamic of the university's cooperation. The human resources would be provided by allied personnel, university's faculties, and of course the students. The cash flow would be managed through the university's consortium, and the funding opportunities are focused mostly on the EU funds, as well as other institutions, funds or foundations. A rough estimate of the pilot project would be 148,000 euros for the first year. The key partners of our project are ELET for the project management, the universities, of course, from the Western Balkans for the organization, and as for the cooperation counseling, we have national parks, local authorities, and other EU institutions. One of the main characteristics of our project is its transferability, which is replicated under three conditions. It is organized by the synergies of Balkan universities. It is concerned with water environments, and it's concerned about protected environments like national parks. It will be repeated every year with a different theme chosen by the synergies. As for the time frame, the pilot project, the first phase one, would take 12 months. That includes the preparation, the communication and organization, the design process with the field visits and showcase of the work in progress, as well as the conclusion of the project, comprised of the award ceremony and exhibition of the awarded proposals, and of course the round table in order to set the guidelines for the phase two, the workshop. So the project is expected to have the biggest impact on the cooperation between universities of Western Balkans, the inclusion of young people in the process of sustainable development of natural and cultural heritage, multiple levels of socio-cultural awareness, and creating the symbols of unity of communication. So, thank you for your attention, and now our colleagues would focus on the next, the next big point.
Hi everyone, I am Titora.
Hi everyone, I am Armando from Albania.
Our project is called Prespa National Park Herbs and Landscapes, which tries to bring back the art of pressing plants, which has long been a favorite childhood activity through the informal education. The project also aims to raise awareness of existing natural heritage and bring the landscapes of natural monuments of Prespa National Park together, including all three countries, Greece, Albania, and North Macedonia. Through the project, we'll identify the map and all medical herbs found in the park, starting with creating a camp in the mountains for the residences of the experts and the students. High school students aged from 15 to 18 will be camping and researching in one meeting point for the medical herbs, guided by the botanists and their teachers in Prespa National Park. From June to September, they will learn the techniques of the herbarium, so by the end of the camp, they will be able to identify the medical herbs from others. Also, there will be a photographer who will document the national park sites by taking pictures and creating videos throughout the year. So the documented landscapes and natural heritage will be in use to create a documentary film of the Prespa National Park.
Yeah. So based on before that, we have also the management that we will cooperate with the Europa Nostra and Athens hub, also with the municipalities of the three countries, and students and their experts, their teachers also. Like from the experts, there will be botanists, ecologists, biology teachers, and also the photographers that will document each project. And also it will be transferable from that kind of landscape would be easily repeatable in the other natural parks that are located and shared between the countries, as we have in the same natural parks other ones that has quite the same richness, and would be really easy to transfer, to repeat them again. The impact, we think that this project is going to be monitored for its efficiency, and it will be evaluated through the process by the experts with a specific background, as it will have an impact on all three countries, as in Albania, in Greece, and in the North Macedonia also. Also, it will have a good impact in the education system, as we are engaging and making part also the youth students, and it will also impact to the environmental researchers, which are gonna make the research process, and also the scientists that will be part of this project to identify all the kind of biodiversity that we have on this area, and it will wider and also have a good impact to the locals that has abandoned these small villages around all the national park, that maybe if it attracts also the tourists and it gives a good impact all around the world, they will be such proud and came back to their birthplace. To complete it, we also thought about the budget based on all the four phases that, and also people that we are gonna engage and take part in this project, as are the human resources, as we need to building the temporary camp for the researchers to do the workshops and trainings, and also the photography and video. That at all it will be, we will need a budget about 67,000 euros at all. That will be in a duration as from 5 to up to 70 months, and then we'll pass to the next. We'll pass to the next step. Is the last one about the story of the Prespa. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Tiana Anna, and I will present the last project created by this youth force. Hopefully, I could still have your attention for a bit longer. I'll try to be efficient time-wise. The project story of Prespa is part of the bigger umbrella project Pantare, and together with the other smaller projects part of the consortium, we aim to contribute towards protection, reaffirmation of the cultural and natural heritage of the Prespa region, while focusing on community engagement and bottom-up approach. The focus of the project, The Story of Prespa, is to preserve and promote the intangible heritage of the Prespa region, contributing towards creating a common meeting point within the local communities and facilitating a collaboration between the neighboring countries, sharing the lakes and sharing the stories around it. By being here and getting to know the local wonders, the local community, for us, it became clear that we need to do something in order to contribute towards its protection, reaffirmation, and visibility, especially in regard of the intangible heritage, which it may disappear if not properly archived and taken care of. This would be a huge loss, knowing that the stories, the tales, the myths, and the legends contain the collective memories, collective knowledge, traditions, and beliefs. So we found 3 challenges that we would like to answer with this project. Is the lack of knowledge and visibility about the cultural and natural heritage in the Prespa region, absence of a common space, a meeting point within the local communities in Prespa, and insufficient information about the intangible heritage around the lake. So we thought of 3 activities regarding our topic, out of which 2 are contributing towards the main project, Pantare. The first 2 are about to contribute. Those are the co-creation of the digital platform and the interactive map, while in addition, we would like to produce a book, a traveling book, archiving the stories, myths, legends around the Prespa Lake. So our role in the co-creation of the interactive of the platform, it will we will aim to complement the general platform of the project in regards of researching the heritage of the region, both tangible and intangible, archiving the gathered materials, broadening the knowledge about the region in collaboration with the local communities and the local universities. For us, it is important that the knowledge we gather is easily accessible for everyone, not only for the locals, but for anyone interested in the story of Prespa. We will also contribute to the creation of the interactive map. Our role in the co-creation, it will be adding the lost tangible or the intangible heritage of the region, the stories, the legends, the myths, the superstitions, the lost villages connected to it. The mapping will be done in collaboration with universities from the neighboring countries. 2 researchers from each university will do the mapping in its respected country. And this will, and now I will show you an example how we imagine the interactivity of the platform. So it will be like this, and when you click, you could be able to get more and more information and details about our project, but also about the other projects which will contribute towards it. And the last but not least, important, it will be the production of a traveling book containing the stories of Prespa. This book will be done together with primary school students from age of 10 to 12 years old in collaboration with their grandparents. Here we would like to contribute towards intergenerational collaboration, and that we believe that in this kind of collaboration can be very productive and motivating for the local communities. The stories will be digitalized and translated into 4 languages: Greek, Macedonian, Albanian, and English, and the book will be physically promoted in each region. Each promotion will contain educational workshops for the kids, panel discussions for explaining our processes, and artistic performances. Of course, the local stories of the book will be added to the map, as I already mentioned. This is some of how do we imagine the creative part of the production of the book. So our general target group, as I already mentioned, are the local communities around the lake, with focus on the intergenerational collaboration. The project will be implemented in each country's Prespa municipality, and it's estimated its duration is estimated to be about 18 months, a year and a half. It should start in January 2023 and ending in June 2024. The preliminary estimation of the budget is around 130,000 euros. And we believe that with this project, we can impact towards the availability of the knowledge about the cultural and natural heritage, especially the intangible one, which is the most easily lost. The connection between the different generations within the local communities, and improving the visibility of the region by promoting it in the academics and scientific communities, as well as in front of decision makers. So thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed our presentation, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We are more than happy to discuss our ideas. Thank you again.
So, thank you, everybody. So I think you see the tremendous work these young people have been doing. I would like also to apologize for not saying that Medina Fazlic from Bosnia, she was also with us, but she had to leave very, very early this morning to catch her flight back from Thessaloniki. And I would also, before getting into the Q&As, I would like to thank some people. I would like to thank Vasilios Foulis and Kostas Leoudis, which have supported in a very, very generous way this event. I would like also to thank, of course, Europa Nostra and the European Year of Youth, thanks to which we did that. I would also like to thank Xenia and Kyriakos, so a couple from that everybody knows here. They have been, I don't know if they are connected, but they have been also providing us with food, but also with smiles and local stories in the difficult late hours in the restaurant after. And they also offered us a cooking class with local recipes and local products. I would like to thank the Ephorate of Antiquities of Castoria and Ms. Andromakis Kreka. And I would like also to thank the head of the Post-Byzantine Monuments in the Ephorate of Antiquities in Florina, who has, Andreas Chokas, who has also made us a wonderful walk. I would like to thank the municipality of Prespa for the kind support with all the logistical organization, and of course the Society of the Society of the Preservation of Prespa for the nice visit we had in the watermill of Agios Germanos, which has received the Europa Nostra award. To close a bit, and the Wildlife and Culture Association for the useful and fruitful discussion we had. I could not imagine that being done under those circumstances without the precious support of Sofia Melisoglu, who is our facilitator, and that everybody here appreciated. I think she's, without being a member of the YSDF, she is a member of the YSDF de facto. And I would also like to thank you people for coming here, for taking the time to find solutions to get here, because even if our countries are close, we have been aware of the accessibility problems and the mobility problems within this region, of maintaining, you are now aware of how difficult it is to maintain a hard infrastructure in those areas, such as the Preston Environmental Station. I'm impressed by what you have done. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And to go to the projects. So you have seen that we have worked very seriously for each project. We have come up with a challenge, a solution, a way to implement the project, the resources, the key partners, and they even we have even gone to the budget. This is to tell you that people here are really crazy. Like, we have been doing that with lots of enthusiasm. The idea so is to a big project that would create a research methodology by working with local communities in order to create and to express that through an interactive map that would have different layers, heritage layers. And those heritage layers would come from different small projects that would be implemented on the field. So the first project would add a layer to this map regarding tangible heritage, or both tangible or intangible heritage, natural or cultural. The second one as well, with the herbs, it was about natural heritage, and the recipes of local medicines could be intangible cultural heritage. The third one, it was about intangible cultural heritage with the stories, the tales. So that's I think the essence of the idea of it's to cooperate and each project to create a layer that would map the heritage in the whole zone, starting from the Prespa and expanding it to the other countries of the region, because within the region we have identified that there are similar locations. There are many lakes that are shared by many countries with exactly, not exactly, but similar problematics. And these are natural reserves, and these have rich cultural heritage. So that is for closing. I will leave the floor to our participants now to comment, ask questions. And thank you again. Any questions, any comments?
Nikos, when do you want me to react? You first want the participants to, or what is the choreography?
I think there is. I think in the Zoom you can react now if you want. I think I'm trying to see if there are some raising hands in the Zoom. No. So please.
It's a great job, Nikos. It's a great job, really. We are proud of you all.
Thank you.
I'm Zoe from LA.
Yeah, it's not my job, but it's not my job. It's the job of
all of you, of
9 people. Yes. Well,
Yes, so can I
Please, yes,
react?
go ahead.
First of all, I want to say that I'm delighted to see here in this meeting my dear colleague and friend Kostas Stamatopoulos, the senior vice president of Elleniki Eteria. Kostas, it's great to be invited by the young generation to in this meeting. So I consider that as a compliment to us, and I think it's really great. It's really great to first of all to feel at least a little bit through the Zoom, to feel the energy, to feel the inspiration that and sort of your all this creativity that was generated during that week that you have spent together. And obviously it is the spirit of the place where you have been that has very much stimulated that, and so I think this, in any further presentations of this very well thought and very meaningful and well structured project, I think it is essential to wrap it into explaining and making people feel that spirit of the place. Because I can immediately tell you that all that you would not have been able to come up with that proposal if you have been sitting in a boring a conference room in Brussels. I can tell you that's really, these are places where killing any creativity. So it is a perfect, in fact, illustration of the utility of cultural and natural heritage and all these places that can stimulate, this type of thinking, which is necessary for the change of our mindset and the change of also our way of life in order to save the planet, but for the Balkans, in order to break all the walls that politicians are so good in making. So this is my first remark as a reaction to what I have just heard. And indeed, compliments to you've done it extremely professionally, well structured, very coherent, and first the wider picture. The wider, as you call it, umbrella projects with the beautiful title Pantarei, but then not. When I was listening, I was afraid he's going to stay in these, general things, and then no, there was immediately the sort of putting this sort of general umbrella framework into very concrete pilot project, 3 different but very complementary, and I would say we're sort of very much focused on the youth, but also on the intergenerational dialogue. That was extremely important, what I have heard in this third project, because it's I'm always saying in Europa Nostra, and it's part of our policy in getting the young forces and voices much more involved in our work. But it doesn't mean that young people do something on one side and we, the less young, we on the other side. But the beauty of this entire exercise, it is a sort of a cross-fertilization and mutual inspiration and mutual learning, because the less young learn from the young, but the young also learn from the less young. So I think this, I'm delighted that is what you clearly, the message that you're clearly passing. What I was also impressed, I must say, it happens very rarely that when people come together in such type of brainstorming exercise, you got all sorts of ideas, but no one thinks about where the resources will come from. And the fact that you came with a concept, with the idea, with saying who is going to implement it, and even the budget, you know, until the very detailed 299 something thousand euros. Very smart, very smart. It's almost Dutch, I would say, because it's not 300,000. It is just a little bit under. That's how the Dutch would do. But what is that is really I was impressed, and that's really good, because you have to be on one side, you have to have the idea, the concept, but also think about, obviously, the management and where you can find the resources, and that you can already identify where you can go and make these presentations and get support. So that is, again, applause for that. There is one thing that I would like to challenge you. And because when I was listening to the presentation, I thought, if I would be the representative of the European Commission, because basically that's where we want, that's where probably the biggest potential for opportunities for funding. I would think, oh, this is wonderful. It's just so perfect. You know, they're all the buzzwords are there. It's all the, you know, the how it is presented, the graphs, etc., etc. So, you know, you score perfectly. But then, as a Secretary General of Europa Nostra, I say to you, don't forget to speak about the spirit and the emotion, and to put much more into all these presentations. First of all, the photography on the beautiful places, something which makes people dream about. It's not just, you know, perfectly drafted and perfectly structured, but don't be afraid to make it. And that's what Europa Nostra, why we are different from all the other consultants who are capable of doing perfect project proposals. We are capable of doing a perfect project proposals, but there is also an element, the human element of it, you know, humanizing it, and in using also as much as possible the images, the poetry, the beauty of the cultural heritage, tangible and intangible. And what I have heard now from your final words, Nikos, you have had loads of it, and I suppose you have loads of phenomenal photography and video material that explains how you came to such a project. And so that is why, you know, in the presentations, don't be afraid, because that's what in all the, I think all the presentations that all the trainings that probably the people from the European Union and European Commission are making, they're doing it in such a technocratical way. And we are precisely civil society, and the spirit of Europa Nostra, ELET, and all of you or participants is not a technocratical approach. It is the civil society approach. It's very much a human, humanistic, and even poetic approach. And there comes, you know, the biggest challenge of all. Find another name for your task force. When I see B stroke YSTF, I said, no, I don't want this. Find a poetic name. I challenge you before you leave, like you have found Pantarei for this project. Don't call yourself as an acronym, because it's really what the technocrats in Brussels love, but that's what Europa Nostra and ELET and all of you is not about. So find something much more sort of, it would strike the minds and the hearts of people when you talk to them, and this you know, this will be a sort of, in brackets, what it is, but it needs, as I said, I hope you don't mind that, and I'm saying that to you on the basis of the 30 years of experience of dealing with the European institutions, and I also made that sort of journey, sort of trying to look as much as possible like them, and then realize that that's what they don't need and they should not want, and going back and seeing that also what really is the secret of the success of such projects, when you really fully communicate, on one side extremely professionally, well managed, almost business-like, but at the same time the combination with the soul and the heart, with the poetry and the beauty. And I'm sure that all that is what you have exactly experienced, and that is what also helped you to come with such a good proposal. And I very much look forward as Europa Nostra to work with, of course, the hub in Athens, but also with all of you, to see how indeed we can then present, sort of recommend these projects to a number of very high representatives of the European institutions, and in order to hopefully get all those euros also that are necessary in order that these visionary and meaningful proposals for projects can be realized. So well done to all of you, and next time I hope to be with you in Prespa.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is Zenia connected? Zenia?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, yes.
How we have how a comment maybe, or an impression of our stay in Prespa?
The truth is that we've been sharing the listening of your presentation with Kyriakos, because we always have busy mornings. And then he briefed me about because he mostly heard the biggest part of the presentation. But I can say, I want it all written, please, for this article that I would like to present in our new Prespa website. But also I would like to comment and say that we also felt that something really, really interesting, useful, but also very emotional happened in Microlimni and in Prespa this past week. And for us, it's always we get always very emotional when people from different countries of the Balkans especially gather and have this positive energy, and are trying to find what we have mostly in common, but also what makes, but also our creative differences, you know what I mean. And I'm sure, and I'm optimistic that, which is also the most important part of all these efforts, that all this will have a beautiful outcome in the future. And congratulations to everyone. And Kyriakos, would you like to say also something? Maybe, Kyriakos, you have a comment on what happened this week?
Yeah. I saw these people working very hard, and it changed my aspect for my place too, and gave me a lot of inspiration talking to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Gillian.
Bravo. You gave inspiration to all of us.
Thank you.
You made us cry.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, on that, maybe a last word, Mr. Stamatopoulos. Mimi, maybe? Hi, Mimi.
Hello.
Yes, okay.
Can I speak, or is someone else speaking?
Yes, please, Mimi, and maybe we can, Mr. Stamatopoulos afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I've been following you guys the whole week somehow through Andy, and now through our meeting. And I am so sorry for the informal environment that I'm in. I'm being a mama today. I've been working the last few weekends, I think, and a weekend before I was in Prague with the youth ambassadors in the heritage. I don't remember. The future is heritage. So yes, and today I'm off with the little one, and we both say hi to you, and I cannot wait to see what happens next and what the next steps are, and to be part of any project. I got really excited, in fact, of the idea to have some projects that bring people from Balkans together with the same goal. I think heritage is the connection point that makes all our difficult history go away, let's say. And basically, I strongly believe that we are the point, like the youth of the Balkans are the point to make the future a bit brighter and come to make everyone come together in peace and create something very interesting and at all levels, basically in academy, in heritage, in projects. So I cannot wait to implement the new project that you guys have thought and to work with everyone. So many hugs from Albania and from Tirana.
Thank you.
So I would just like to say how happy I am, really, to be with all of you, to thank you very much on behalf of Elliniki Eteria. And I'm sure that this is the first step of a long, very important for all of us way. And I am very optimistic. I'm not a very optimistic person, but I think that what I have seen and heard today make me very, very sure, very positive that it would be a wonderful adventure we have to, in which we are participating for the next time. So thank you very much. And I hope that in our next gathering, there will be also possible for people less young to attend. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think we will end the meeting. Thank you for your kind advice and your nice words. We have already produced 2 documents and the full documentation of the different projects. We will review them to reflect so the sentiment. We will follow your advice, Ms. Mihailovic, and we will be happy to share it with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the last moments together on Prespa and see you soon somewhere in Europe.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.